Good morning, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and get started. So if you could please take a seat. Thank you all for being here. We really, really appreciate it and are so excited. Alrighty. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to President's Day 2024. Woohoo! It is our honor to have you all here for this special event where we gather to celebrate the remarkable achievements of our former AS presidents and vice presidents. We want to acknowledge the invaluable contributions they have made towards fostering inclusivity, promoting student well-being, and advocating for the betterment of our campus life. Their leadership has inspired countless others to strive for excellence and to actively engage in shaping the future of our organization. To our former presidents and vice presidents, your vision, leadership, and dedication has left an enduring legacy that continues to inspire us all each day. Today, we honor you and express our heartfelt gratitude for your outstanding leadership to our campus community. So thank you all for joining us in celebrating these extraordinary individuals and their remarkable achievements. We are truly so excited to have the opportunity to cherish and commemorate the incredible impact of our past leaders today. Alrighty, and with that being said, I will go ahead and call this meeting to order at 9:10 a.m. And we'll go ahead and start off with the land acknowledgement. Associated Students recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral and unceded territory of the Fernandino Tautivian Band of Mission Indians that is now occupied by our campus of California State University, Northridge. Honors their elders past and present, and the descendants who were citizens of the Fernandino Tautivian Band of Mission Indians. Associated Students recognizes that the tribe is still here, and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. We'll now go ahead and turn over to the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you are able. Hey, thank you. I'll now go ahead and turn it over to our Attorney General for the roll call.
Vice President Anderson, Senator Bobnagry, Senator Chavez, Senator Doe, Senator Dunn, Senator Kaddish, Senator Iman Khan, Senator Owais Khan, Senator Mezabin, Senator Radionov, Senator Sarkeesian, Senator Saravia, Senator Scher, Senator Tybee, Senator Toledo Carranza, Senator Tran. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much to our Attorney General. We'll now go ahead and move on to the approval of the agenda for February 19th. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the agenda for February 19, 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Khan, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, the motion passes unanimously. We'll go ahead and move on to the approval of the minutes for February 12th. Is there a motion? Senator Tybee.
I move to approve the minutes for February 12th.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, the motion passes unanimously. We'll now go ahead and move on to special presentations with a definitely special presentation from our wonderful President Beck. Thank you so much for being here with us today. You can just tap it.
Oh, all right. There we go. It's good to see all of you, all of our leaders, and it is also wonderful to see all of our past leaders. And I was just having a conversation with a number of folks about what a special tradition this is. And it is a real mark of the kind of impact that our student leaders have had on each other and on the university and the bond that they have built and the pride in seeing not only their individual contributions to the university, but also all of the contributions of the many student leaders that have followed them. And I just so enjoy the opportunity and the moment to say thank you. Thank you for all that you have done. It's hard because you're behind me and the microphone's here, but anyway. For all of those contributions, but also I know so many of you are still very engaged with the university in so many different capacities, and what an incredible resource for our current students and then of course for future generations of students. It is also my privilege and delight to recognize one particular student leader, our very own Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, Dr. William Watkins, who is today celebrating 50th anniversary from his time as a student leader. And I know I don't have to tell anyone in this room what an extraordinary leader he is and the kind of impact that he has had on the university, but most especially on the people, both as a campus leader, a student leader, but also as a mentor to all of the student leaders that, that he has been engaged with. And I know to all of you, he's also had a really profound impact on me and my leadership. He is one of the finest leaders I have ever had the privilege of learning from, and really, really grateful for everything you have done for CSUN, continue to do for CSUN. Happy 50th anniversary, William. I also just want to thank all of you for your leadership every day here at the university, for your commitment to your fellow students, but also for your commitment to a more learned, brighter, and more equitable future for the communities that we so proudly serve. I hope that you remember in the course of your work that you are having a tremendous impact, not just on the university and not just on the communities that we're so proud to serve, but really as the fabric underpinning our democratic republic. It is noble and meaningful work. We are grateful to all of you for doing it. So happy President's Day, everybody. And thanks for allowing me to come and say thanks to everyone.
Well, thank you so much for being here. It's definitely our honor to have you here and always so appreciative of your incredible leadership here. Alrighty, the next presentation is from Josie and I, so we're gonna go ahead up there. We're gonna go this way instead. Alrighty, so today we would like to honor an individual whose commitment and dedication has left a truly incredible impact on our beloved institution. 50 years ago, they assumed the role of Associate Students President at CSUN, embarking on a journey that would not only, I am sure, shape their own life, but the lives of countless others.
It is truly awe-inspiring to consider the impact this individual has had since their days in student leadership. Their vision, passion, and tireless efforts have helped pave the way for generations of students on campus.
Throughout the years, they have continued to champion the values of integrity, inclusivity, and excellence that define our university community. Their unwavering dedication to the betterment of CSUN has been evident in every endeavor they have undertaken.
As we present them with this plaque commemorating 50 years since their service as AS president, we do so not only to acknowledge their past achievements, but to express our deepest gratitude for all they have contributed to CSUN. Their leadership has been a beacon of inspiration, guiding us forward and reminding us of the profound impact that one person can have on an entire institution.
So please join us in congratulating and thanking this remarkable individual for their many years and counting of service, dedication, and unwavering commitment to CSUN. May their legacy continue to inspire us all for generations to come. Dr. Watkins.
Some things about student body presidents don't stop. We like to talk. So this is one of those gotcha moments. But I should have known something when I saw so many marvelous, beautiful leaders descend upon this place here on this President's Day. It is just overwhelming to see you all and to think about having spent some period of time as you move through your service here at California State University, Northridge. I mean, I'm seeing people under hats and stuff and connecting faces. You know, I want to do something a little bit different here. We're gathering on the occasion of the celebration of presidents on this President's Day, but I want to share with everybody that there isn't a president in this space that would say that they did that work by themselves. And so I want to just take a moment to celebrate all of you senators and all of you folk who are on cabinets and et ceteras and on committees and structures that create so many ways for so many students to serve our fine institution. So let's just give a celebration for all of the students who've been in some form of engagement around service to associated students. You know, I left this institution and did some time at institutions over the hill for a master's and a doctorate degree. And one of the things that was just so clear to me about the quality of those institutions and why they have been able to excel is that they have been able to build on the foundation of a legacy of student leaders and faculty and researchers and et cetera. And I hope all of you embrace your engagement here at Cal State Northridge is foundational. We're building the foundation for an institution that will continue to grow and to excel and to serve this region in ways that we know this region needs to be served. And all of you who have been in these leadership roles have understood things with a greater depth than those of your fellow students who've been around, and you've always done the work of showing up, grinding through it sometimes, dealing with the academic work, dealing with family life, dealing with being able to pay rent and eat and all of these normative kinds of things, but you've come and you've always done the extra work. So I am so grateful to be able to be here and to celebrate this moment. When our president arrived here, you know, it's not unusual for presidents wanting to bring in their own staff when they come. And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm ready to get aside if you're ready to bring in someone to come and to do this work. And she invited me to continue to be here and to help her as she's launched her presidency here at Cal State Northridge. And I tell you all, she is one of the most fantastic leaders that this institution has ever had, and she is exactly what Cal State Northridge needs today to become its better tomorrow. Let's give our president a cheer. And to Paige and Josie, I don't call you my grandchildren, but they said, oh my God, it's like 50 years. Well, all I can say is I'm not sure where the time has gone, but the time has been good and it has been enriching time in a world where there's so much strife and so much that is unfulfilling around us. To be able to spend a moment in service to other individuals and in service to ideals and in ways that are difference making is truly a blessing. And all of you have been a blessing to my life. And I thank you for it. Thanks.
Absolutely incredible. Just so many emotions this morning. My goodness, so, so exciting. And just again, thank you for your service, Dr. Watkins. Alrighty, our next. Yes, Senator Doe. Granted, thank you. Our next special presentation is from Alumni Relations, Christina Bernstein. Welcome to the floor, Christina. Feel free to turn the mic around.
Oh, okay, great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. Congratulations, Dr. William Watkins. That's a tough act to follow, so thanks for that. I am Christina Bernstein. I am the Career and Professional Development Associate in our Alumni Relations Office. I was here last semester, but just to bring you up to speed again, I oversee all career programming that involves our alumni giving back to you, our student body, in workforce readiness, mentorship, and career and professional development, of course. So one, I just wanted to share some upcoming events that we're having that I think would be a great benefit to all of you to attend or just share the word. So first is our USU Leadership Mixers. Last chance, tomorrow is the last day to register. It's an opportunity for members like yourself and student club org leaders and USU leaders to connect with our college deans, our alumni chapter presidents, faculty advisors, student club and organization leaders, and the USU Leadership Board, and of course, the AS leadership. So you get to connect with the Alumni Association and hear all the ways that we can partner and help bring alumni to you in terms of mentorship. We also have our CSUN Funder, which is an easy platform where you can raise money for any of your programs, and then just alumni resources to help jumpstart your career. It's sponsored by the USU and Premier America Credit Union. It's on the 27th in here. From 4:30 to 6:30, and it's free, and there's free food. Did I mention that as well? So I would love for all of you guys to attend and connect with us in the Alumni Association. So just that's happening, just last chance, because last day to register is tomorrow, and I hope to connect with all of you there. And then we do have a webinar coming up on the 13th, our Lady Docs webinar in honor of International Women's Month. We have a pretty power-packed panel of all female doctors. That's going to be online via Zoom, 6 p.m. to 7:30, completely free and open to the public. So if you want to invite others outside of your network that aren't here at CSUN, please do so. We have doctors ranging from EDs, PhDs, MDs, JDs. We cover it all. And if you're interested at all, maybe wanting to pursue your doctorates as well, this would be a great opportunity to connect with some CSUN alumni who have done it and learn about their career paths and the diverse doctoral pathways they ventured onto. So, and there's a Q&A, so you can connect with them as well. So information there. And then secondly, we have our resume review and Corporate Connect program. So Corporate Connect is where an alumni hosts student tours at their work site. This photo here was from last semester at Warner Brothers, but we do have a really awesome lineup for this spring semester. The first two in March will be Citibank and then Los Angeles Spark. So we have a bevy of alumni who are working there, but I did also want to use this as an opportunity for you to connect with me if there are companies or industries or alumni that you want to connect with professionally, like a Corporate Connect setting. I want to hear about it because I want to make sure that the content I'm putting on is relevant and beneficial and the places you want to visit and the people you want to connect to. And then also to any faculty or alumni here who would like to raise their hand and host or refer any alumni you think could be great or any industries. I would love to connect with you guys to make this happen for our students in terms of mentorship. And what I love about this program, my favorite is a lot of students will come and say they got an internship, a full-time job by going on a Corporate Connect tour. So that's why I'm here and that's why I do this work. So secondly, we have a resume review, save the date, 5/8/24. It's going to be virtual. We have a host of alumni volunteers who will connect with you one-on-one and work on your resume with you. Really simple. Just get it to a place where making sure that you're ready for the workforce, or you're ready to apply for those internships, that your resume is in peak shape. So just that's happening on the 8th. And of course, follow us on social media. I'm going to be leaving a couple of my business cards on the front over there. So if you do want to connect with me personally, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to do these programs and I want to hear from you and things that you want to do and things you want to see. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here, Christina. Awesome resources, and I know that some of your colleagues will be coming to next Senate meeting to discuss AS, or not AS, but excuse me, Giving Day, which is also really exciting. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and move on to open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes. I have a feeling some presidents would like to come up and speak briefly on their term. You're more than welcome to come up and speak. So
Susan, the oldest after Dr. Watkins.
yes, girl power, Susan.
Oh, my girl power, and Dr. Beck just left. So when I was elected president back in the last millennium, 1981, 82, the microphone's just not going to work. Let's see. There we go. Okay. The headline was First Woman Elected President. Thank God we're not doing that anymore. Right, Dr. Beck? But thank God, right? Because now we're looking at talent and skills and leadership abilities. And that means that all the doors are opening for all of you as well. So not was I only very involved in AS, which I have to say, I was telling Paige and Josie earlier, the most instrumental year of my life, truly. I'm also on the Alumni Association, on the board of directors and an officer. So truly, once a Matador, always a Matador. And I expect to see all of you at Alumni Association meetings in the next several years. But most importantly, I want to just share an observation that I had. As I mentioned, my year as president was so instrumental. And whether you're president, vice president, senator, board of directors, cabinet member, treasure this year and all the years that you spend in AS. You are going to learn more now than you probably will your first few years on the job about networking, about working with people, about approving budgets and negotiating, legislation, all those skills and talents that you are working on and creating and developing right now will truly suit you the rest of your life, professionally and personally. So my other thing is please learn how to communicate properly, especially in writing. I'm a former copy editor, and nothing worse than getting something that's misspelled or poorly punctuated. So this is a good time to do that too. Believe me, your employers will appreciate it. But thank you all for having us every year. And I'm around, and kudos to all of you too, One last thing, I'll just say, we were talking about first. Dr. Watkins, or I get to call him William, but William finished his term in June. I came in as a freshman in September, so we never overlap, but we've gotten to know each other over the years at events like this and other alumni events. And within about I'm going to say maybe an 8-year span, we had a lot of firsts. We had the first Black president. We had the first Latin president. We had the first Asian American president. We had the first female president. We had the first openly gay president. I want all of you to be among the first. Whatever your first is going to be, make sure that you're a first too. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Welcome, Zeke.
Hi, I am Judge Zeke Seidler. Nice to meet all of you. 40 years ago this spring, I was elected AS president. I was going to say, I hope that in 10 years I look as good as you, but I don't look as good as you today. And you are awesome. And you all don't know the travails he goes through. I remember being on campus shortly after a student died hazing and ran into him and his wife at an event. And I mean, looking at him weathering that and the things he has weathered all of these years, I don't think any of us can imagine how that builds up. And I just want to appreciate you too. When you look at the pictures of past AS presidents, I am the one with the pink bow tie and the earring. Dr. Watkins said something that hit me, and that is that we didn't do it alone. So I'm going to talk about two people that none of you have ever heard of before, which is that 2 years before I became AS president, Tony Waters and Lydia Hawley started a minority student slate called Omnibus. And their goal was to really shake up AS and add diversity and make sure voices were heard that weren't being heard. They were not elected. But I remember walking up to the student union and Lydia Hawley saying, hi, I'm running for vice president. And I, she thinks, take a flyer, move on. And I said, well, why should I vote for you? What are you going to do? And the next year I ended up on that slate. And a year later, I ended up running for as president. Now, I was almost left off the slate the second year when I was up for reelection because I had come out on the front page of the Sundial. A year later, when I ran for AS president, 7 out of 8 of my billboards that morning had fag spray painted on them. So it's not always easy to stand up and try and make a difference. And I appreciate all of you for all that you're doing. But I wouldn't have been everything I was and had the opportunities I had if it wasn't for Tony and Lydia, and they're trying to make a difference in their way. Last but not least, I love still being involved with the campus. As you can see, I'm wearing my Resilient Scholars sweatshirt. For any of you who don't know what the Resilient Scholars is, it's former foster kids on campus. Phenomenal program. The first year, when they had their graduation event, they had 3 graduates. This past year, I think they were up to like 12. So if you have a chance to attend the Resilient Scholar graduation or any of the special commencements on campus, I really encourage you, because the stories you hear from students on this campus who you have no idea what got them here and what they're going through being here, it's pretty amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Zeke.
I don't know where I fall in the hierarchy of things here. Joaquin Macias, I was actually AS president in '99. So is anybody before me that's here? Yes? Well, you should be here, but he'll get next. So thank you all for having us here today. I usually come and try to stir you up and tell you to do, good deeds and stir things up on campus, but I think you guys have probably heard that enough. I do want to also acknowledge Dr. Watkins, who is one of my mentors when I was here. So it's been 25 years for me this year, so that's half of his, and I was born in '74, just to date you. But yes, as you've heard, we have definitely come a long way. When I ran, I did run with an all minority slate because it was generally fraternity folks, and not that I have anything necessarily against fraternity folks, but when that's all the representation that was up here, we felt that, no taxation without representation. And so our slate actually did win by a record number of votes that year. So we're proud to say that. But that being said, I hope that you all take what you've heard today and what you've learned and really do take that into your future, because it really is a great platform for you to build off of. And one thing that I will challenge you with, and I talked to Paige about this at the USU mixture, is the USU Board of Directors has an alumni spot on it that I actually serve on. So I would also encourage you all to have an alumni position on your board so that you can keep in contact with those folks and allow them to be a part of this esteemed body as well. So thank you all for having, and I look forward to seeing you later this afternoon and in the future.
Good morning. My name is Rodney Lazara, class of 93, 94 vice president for Stephen Parker. I'm just trying to think back 30 years, and the earthquake is just big thing. So I just can't believe that it's been 30 years. In fact, this week, I think, was the first week we went back to school because they shut it down, I think, for 3 weeks. I remember sitting in a circle in front of a tree. That was our classroom. I remember mud everywhere. I remember classrooms all over the place. But mostly I remember us getting together and serving our students. So I want to leave you with something to just remember. Just keep your horizon, your students as your horizon, and stay on that path, because what ends up happening a lot of times is you get involved in, just fights and all that kind of stuff. But keeping that that focus on your students is just so valuable. And just remember that. Thank you for your time.
Morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tari Hunter. I was AS president in 2001, 2002. And you're probably like, maybe I've seen that girl. And I currently work at the University Student Union as the associate executive director. And so I recently returned back to CSUN maybe 18 months ago to work professionally on campus after working all over the country in student affairs. And so it's such an honor to be back here at CSUN serving our students and serving in a way that many people served me 20 plus years ago. So when I think about President's Day, I come in this room often. I work at the union. We have lots of events here. We have board meetings all the time. But seeing you all sitting here in this moment, it really makes me nostalgic to think about my days as AS president. And the two things that come to mind is the year that I ran for AS president, I ran with a unity ticket. And so I was really active, an active student leader in Greek life and the BSU, and I had been working on the student union board, but then I ran with with a pike. And that was a big shakeup because there was a minority ticket that was also running against us. And for some time, many people thought of me as, they were not pleased that I was running against the minority ticket. But there was a purpose in that, in the sense of we're all matadors and we needed to unify and not continue to divide. And so we won. It was an excellent experience. Kevin Mojirarty was on my cabinet, if he's in the back. He kept me in line, and many leaders followed after that. But my second memory was, it was the year that football was eliminated, and that was devastating. And every time I come in here for an AS meeting, I think about how crowded it was and the students throwing stuff at us from upstairs and yelling at us and not understanding the financial impact that football was causing the institution, and how it would open the doors for so much more access to scholarships and other opportunities by eliminating this $1 million+ program. You think about it, it was 20 years ago. So $1 million 20 years ago is how much today? And so I just encourage you all to focus on, what your students need today as we continue to navigate this post-COVID environment. Think about how to be leaders for them and how to show up for them and how to step out of your comfort zones. It's still crazy that we're in this hybrid environment, and it's so hard to tap into students who don't necessarily want to have that leadership experience, but finding opportunities to tap into them in your classrooms or through the academic departments, because that's really where they're at, or even just in the parking structures, sitting in their cars. But I just thank you all for hosting this every year. I always wanted to come, and it's been 20-something years since I graduated, and this is the first time I've been able to come back. And so I'm looking forward to spending time with you all. And while you're on campus, if you ever want to connect with me, I'm in the USU. Thank you.
Good morning, David Phelps, AS Vice President, 99, 2000. It's very nice to see all of you. I don't think I had a chance to speak last year, but it's wonderful to be here. One of the things that we did that I'm most proud of is it's not called that anymore. What's it called, David? Academically related STAR. Thank you. It wasn't called STAR, but we started it. And we're really proud of the money that has given graduate students and graduating seniors for their projects, something I'm really proud that we were able to contribute to. I had a lot of leadership and personality development while I was involved in AS. I learned a lot about, working with others, and that when you disagree, your ability to come back to the table on the next issue is really a sign of your character and your ability to work through conflict. Also want to make a reminder, because Mr. Watkins is in the audience, work life or school AS balance is very important. I had to take a time out because I got too into what I was doing. I got too involved. And that one semester timeout was a very important checkpoint for me. So, take your responsibilities seriously, but remember what you're here for. And then let the rest carry. You do well in school, you'll do well in the rest. You're already sitting at this table, so you're already ahead of the game.
Just remember that. All right, look forward to seeing you at lunch. Thank you.
The two old men over here know exactly what I'm talking about. I will honestly say I have had nothing prepared for you today. I don't get a chance to come over here as often as I would like, but I cannot express enough gratitude to the two old guys sitting over there, William and David. I was student body president in 2004. I had a moment last week, basically like, oh my God, it's been 20 years, 30 years and 40 years, and they're still here. Thank you. I had no intentions of getting involved with student government. I came out here a little bit earlier to read the highlight on the top of your agenda and was pleasantly surprised to see the land acknowledgement. As a former student and president of the American Indian Student Association, it's a little overwhelming for you to make that claim. I know with someone like Rudy Ortega and the Tataviam, they have come a long way in getting that acknowledgement. It means a lot to them, I know. It means a lot to me. You have an opportunity here to do something. It's going to go by real quick. Before you know it, you're going to be gone. You're going to be doing something else. So enjoy this time that you have here. It's an opportunity for you to learn something about yourself, about your friends, about family, about your school. So enjoy it, because before you know it, it's going to be gone. And for me, having said that I was never had any intentions of getting involved with student government, the experience was life-changing. These two gentlemen over here made a difference in my life. And I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
My name is Carlos Fuentes, student body president, 1978, 79. So probably your parents were born about that time, and that's okay. And I really don't, I'm not going to talk about those times because unrelatable. We didn't have laptops sitting on our things. We didn't have iPads, and that was, it wasn't anything like that. My assistant was Hermie Wombo. So you might hear about Hermie because I'm sure there's still an award in her name. But she passed on some significant, and I'll pass it on to you, some significant advice. She came into my office one day and I was battling President Cleary or something on some issue. And she says, you know, Carlos, take advantage of this opportunity because you're the president of, at that time, we were only a $2.5 million, $3 million corporation. He says, you may never be the president of a corporation again. I'm going to share that advice with you because none of us come into this school thinking, I'm going to be AS president. It just happens. You organically grow into that spot. I'm sure Paige didn't walk in and say, hey, I'm here to be AS president. None of us do. None of us came in with that intent. You can walk in here and say, I'm going to be a baseball player, I'm going to be a basketball, but you don't walk in saying, I'm going to be AS president or a senator or anything else. You grow into it. Well, now you're sitting here Now the advice to you is take advantage of the moment. And wow, what am I saying? Well, take advantage of them. Yeah, it's tough. You're running from Sierra to the parking lot to your job to everywhere else. You don't even realize the moment. The moment of raising your hand, allocating funds, making a difference in students' lives. Because I didn't. I'll tell you a quick story of that time because it relates to today. I was the last sophomore class president. We used to have those. The last sophomore class president. And I came in and I had done some research on, we had some issues with women being attacked in the parking lot. And it was a big deal. So I decided I'm going to do some research, UCLA, USC, how many attacks did they have, what happened? And I brought forth this proposal. And let me tell you, it was a battle. I said, look, I did all this research, I presented it, I said, here's the reason I'm asking for $15,000 for the spring semester to provide escorts for women from the library to the parking lot. Oh my God. I had campus police, that's our job, get away from it, that's not what you guys do, get out of here, my own senators. Carlos, that's a waste of money, we're not gonna. Okay, I'm telling you, here's the evidence, it's not just our campus. UCLA, USC, it's happening. I had to fight, I had to lobby my own colleagues to get $5,000 allocated. $5,000 to buy yellow jackets and flashlights. So our football players, speaking of the program, so our football players can get jobs because then the women felt comfortable because you got this middle linebacker walking you to your parking spot, right? Well, I tell you that story because 2 years after it happened, campus police bought in. It became a bigger program. They took it upon themselves. I think you might even still have it. I don't know. But it's now a blue light system that hangs out at all these corners. I was a sophomore class president. I didn't know. I just said, we might need this. So it's okay. When I'm giving you permission, it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to take that moment and see something that nobody else sees. It's okay to drive forward and go, hey, I have a conviction that I think this happens. Because you may stand up here 45 years later and go, hey man, I think I had something to do with this. Not sure, but I think I did. So in there somewhere, pick it. Pick what you're willing to fight for. Pick your conviction. Because that's the most important thing. I'm going to give this to you. This is my own advice to you. The most important thing you can know. It's not history. It's not math. It's not chemistry or anything else. The most important thing you can leave here knowing is yourself. Know what you like. Know what you don't like. Be ready to tell someone when they ask that invariable question that comes up in every interview. Tell me about yourself. And if you don't know yourself, you just failed that question. And it comes up in every interview. Tell me about yourself. That's the most important thing you can leave here knowing. So those 2 bits of advice. Hermes, take advantage of the opportunity. Mine, know yourself and challenge yourself. It's okay to be uncomfortable in the moment. Get through it. Get through it. Be a badass. Get through it. Thank you.
Carlos, we do have the escort certs. It's not called the escort certs. It's called Matador Patrol, but your legacy lives on.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tuche, and before I introduce myself, I want to thank two special people today. I'm so excited. Okay, too much emotions. At first, I'm so excited to be here today in special day, and thanks to Dr. Watkins, I'm able to be here today without giving up my higher education because he touched me and my family's life a while ago. If it wasn't him, I was done with my higher education journey long time ago. The reason why I did not give up because of him. And another person that I would like to thank is my director, Miss Karina, believing in me, supporting me, encouraging me to join AS family. And I want to be the first person to appointed to graduate senator due in 3 days, not popping up the baby yet, and still be here and doing this today. My name is Tuche, and I'm a CSUN alumni and first year grad student for higher education and leadership. I would love to give back to this community, CSUN, and work always for CSUN. And here I am today, and I'm actually thanking Judy, she's not here, but allowing me to become here today and seeing these amazing people, these stories, as Ms. Susan mentioned, that be the first, I'm the first, graduate student, and all of you, amazing stories today, just like touch my life. I'm like, I am in the right place, right moment, for right reason. And thank you again all.
Good morning. This is my first time speaking as alumni president, mostly because I realized over 10 years have passed and I think it's my turn now. I used to sit there and be like, oh, I graduated last year. And it feels like, oh, I think I've actually kind of earned my place to share something with you. What's kind of calling to me to share with you today is I ran at a time where the campus was really divided. And that's kind of how it feels like to live in the country right now. I ran with a slate of now people that I call my friends and people kind of, I don't know, similar ideologies, like probably how your slates were. And I ran against another slate that was kind of considered like the minority slate. They were, if anything, running against me and what they thought that I stood for because of my previous affiliations or simply guilty by association is kind of how it felt like when they were running during that time. So when elections were over, it was almost literally a divided slate. They would sit here, we would sit there. They didn't show up to retreat, essentially in protest for their ideas of what our platform was. And our year started off really rough. But I think what made the difference was leadership, both of the mentorship that I received, but also just me showing up as I am and being kind of like to all. They were elected the same way that I was. People believed in my platform, people believed in their platform, and they had a right to be at the table the same way that I did. And over time, they eventually, I think I built trust with them, and we were able to actually get a lot of stuff done. Community was built. We were listening, we were listening to understand versus listening to just respond, where that's not the way that that year had started. My hope and challenge to you is that if you all do truly represent what the campus looks like and what the country looks like right now, that you really do make an effort to seek to understand truly why a person's lived experience is why they're coming to the table that particular moment in time. It might feel like they're out to get you, and it's probably just out to get something for themselves because there's something that's lacking there. And maybe there's something that you can provide to them, whether that's kindness or a resolution or a physical thing. So just remember that as you engage in your difficult conversations. I'm sure they come up. I don't know what your biggest woes are right now, but I know that they come up, and just kind of like to all, I think, is what I would leave you with. So thank you.
All right, good morning, Matadors. Happy Monday. My name is Jonathan Goldenberg. I was AS president 17 to 18. For those of you that knew me when I was in student government, I definitely got elected because I talked too much. So for your sake more than mine, I'm going to try and keep it short. I have two calls to action for y'all and a little bit of advice if I could. My first call to action is this. When I ran in 2017, one of the main goals that we had in our slate is reaching out to the different communities on campus that really hadn't been touched before, right? And what we found is that the more we started digging into all this stuff and the more we tried to find these communities, the more we found that a lot of the students really didn't know how to get involved and really didn't know how to get their voices heard, right? So I'm asking President, Vice President, but everyone in this room that as you're going about your duties as members of AS, right, that you diligently try to find these people that don't know how to have their voices heard and be the person that brings them into the fold. It's number one. Number two, right? Obviously we're in a post-COVID world, right? Like we're all coming back. I got involved on campus because of student clubs and organizations, right? That was my big thing before I got involved in AS. And outside of probably a couple hundred people on campus, student clubs and organizations is the primary mechanism through which they get involved, right? So please, as everyone's coming back and we lost a generation of leadership in the years that we were remote, right? Try to support clubs and organizations as much as you can, foster that sort of leadership and help them actually bring a lot of resurgence to campus, right? Because democracy only works if everyone's involved, right? Make sure that as many students as possible have a reason to come to campus more than just a classroom where they're going to get kicked out if they don't go to class, right? Like make this a place where everyone actually wants to be and feels like they have the autonomy and the agency to create positive change. Last thing for you is a little bit of advice. About a month and a half after I turned over the gavel, I left and joined the Marines, right? And one of the things I was thinking as I was leaving is like, wow, Associated Students is great, learned so many great things, never going to touch any of that again, right? Because student leadership is very different than Marining, doing things like that, right? But in the 6 years that I've been in so far, one of the things I'm learning more and more and more is that my time in Associated Students is my greatest point of reference for learning how to do things in other parts of my life, right? Whether it's going from reaching out to a first-year Matador, bringing them into the fold, is very similar to a brand new kid that joined the Marines, right? Whether it's going and working on budgetary things in Pentagon, that's really similar, actually, surprisingly and terrifyingly, to the AS budget process, right? Whether it's lobbying or doing all those things, right? Like you all are all learning so much today that you don't even realize, right? So as you're on this fast speeding train, going through life, going through this year, and I know it'll go by in a heartbeat, slow down. As much as you're here to serve students across this campus, you're also going to be tomorrow's leaders in the community. So do yourself and the community a service and really focus on trying to learn something, develop yourself, grow, and then be that vehicle of change after you have left Associated Students to help the community become better. All right, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you all. I still know a little bit of you. I'm so excited to get to meet the rest of you. My name is Diana Vicente. I was AS President 2019-2020, which is now like over 4 years ago, which is crazy. I have a lot of stories from back there, a lot of stuff that I would love to share with you. But the biggest thing that I can think of to lay on you is relationships are so important. Every single friend that you're making right now is a friend, possibly a colleague that you're going to find in the future. Every person that you don't like is also a person you're going to see in your future, potentially have to work with them. You're going to think back a lot. I think back a lot at what I could have done better for some of the relationships that I had with my senators, with my cabinet. I also have some cabinet that became lifelong friends, senators that I still reach out to today that I get to work with, and that's an honor. So really take care of your friends, talk to people, even when it's uncomfortable, have those difficult conversations. That's really crucial. Even if it makes you uncomfortable right now, you'll feel better about it a couple years in the future. And I think as I look back at my years, you know, that network, I see it in my day-to-day life. I work in City Hall now. In my office alone, there's 4 Matadors. That's incredible. We get to take over and see this work and do it, but now in a different capacity. And that's just an amazing experience. So really take advantage of that. And to keep it short, the last thing I'll say is just a lot of thank yous. I know that for a lot of us here, this place is home. This place and the people around us have become family. I mean, Dr. Watkins, David Crandall, Kevin, Ariana, like that's who I look back at when I think about mentors who raised me, who made me the leader that I am today. The difficulties that I had during my presidency is what I answer when I'm in interviews and people ask me, what's the toughest thing you've had to face in the workplace? How do you work through difficult situations? It's all today. So really take note of it, write it down. And then the other part of it is the family aspect of it. I know we have Jonathan Goldenberg, Jonathan Hay, Carlos Fuentes, Susan, that's all family right here. So really look around you, look at the people that are sitting next to you, think about what you can do to connect with them more, think about what you can do to make them feel comfortable, but also fight for yourself and believe in yourself. That's what's most important. And thank you all. It's been an honor.
Hello, hello. It's good to see some familiar faces. First of all, you literally took everything I wanted to say, literally. You all have gotten like a bunch of good advice, so I'm not gonna like sit on that. First of all, my name is Jonathan Hay. For those of you who don't know me, probably should introduce myself. I served as the AS president for the year 2021 to 2022. So this was like the post-COVID. Transitioning everyone back onto campus. We were wearing masks when we were in this room. But yeah, we had our own challenges, but I think Diana really, I'm gonna kind of repeat what you said. I think the one thing that you take away, and especially now that that we're all beyond what, our time here, is all the memories that you have obviously are important, and the things that you do are important. The legacy that you leave is important. Most importantly, are the people that you meet and connect with. If it wasn't for the people that I started with in AS, I mean, I ran with Diana. I was this cringy freshman who didn't know anything. I didn't know how to talk to people. Man, I still make those mistakes, don't get me wrong, but for her to be there for me when I started my time, and for her to mentor me and to teach me what it is to be a leader, how it is to, to be a senator, how it is to hear people. All those things are things that I was able to take with me and to ultimately be lucky enough to be a president. And so, I mean, I challenge you all in your roles to understand, one, as everyone here has mentioned, how lucky you are to be in this role and to not take a minute of it for granted. But more importantly, now that you're in these roles, is to lift people up and to help them become, hopefully, what you have, and for them to hopefully take over for you one day. And I think those are the things that are going to last. And as you see everyone here, we're all connected in some way. You heard different stories. You saw like them hugging, and just like it, you don't realize the legacy you're leaving, and you don't realize the people that you're really meeting. But these are the people that are going to last with you forever, and these are the people that are going to really stick with you. So I challenge you all, as you're in your roles, to recognize that how lucky you are to be here, and more importantly, to bring people up with you. You see that person who's like eating alone. You see that person who like is super awkward in class and maybe doesn't have a friend, or maybe this person who's trying to get involved and they don't know how. To be like, hey, like, have you heard of AS? Be annoying. Be that. Most people want to get involved, and as you all know, it's a little bit of a challenge here. So enjoy what you do, lead with grace, and remember to leave a legacy. Thank you all.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Eden Shashua. I served as the Vice President of 22-23, so just last year. And it's a wonderful honor to be here today. I remember sitting over there last year, watching everyone and hearing all the stories. So it's wonderful to be back as an audience member. I think for me, this is a really special moment just to sort of see full circle and see all the wonderful leaders, some of who I've worked with last year and some who are new that I'm excited to see and have seen, you know, following the social media and hearing from others just how much you all have accomplished. I think for me, I just wanted to highlight some of my favorite pieces of advice that I've heard today, particularly from Dr. Watkins, about, you know, working together. I think for me, I had a certain or a few different goals that I wanted to achieve last year. And as I was speaking to Nick and Golden earlier, I think it's so important to really take advantage of the opportunity that you have and the people that you have here to help guide you to achieve the things that you want to achieve for the students, for the university. And, you know, for me, I had some of my really helpful people like Daniel and Kevin and Denise who really made my dreams come to life here. And so, you know, take advantage of your senators, of your cabinet, of all the people that you have here to help you succeed and to really make that impact. And I can't wait to hear more about everything at lunch. Thank you.
Is anyone else here for open forum? Alrighty, I don't, oh, how could we forget?
Thank you. I love the logo, don't you? Kevin hates this logo. This is the first AS shirt I ever got. My name is David Crandall, and I was lucky enough to be the general manager and then executive director of this organization for about 18, 19 years. I want to call attention to a couple of people. One is Bill Foster, and Bill is the person who preceded me as general manager, and he passed away this year. And I also want to acknowledge Patrick and Vita and Denise and the others who provide support. We know we're losing Patrick shortly. I want to tell you a dirty little secret. None of us care what you spend your money on. None of us care whether you want to support Israel or Palestine. None of us care whether you want to start a softball team or a Quidditch team. We are here to help you figure out what you want to do and then to do it. I always laugh about the sport clubs in particular, I think are the best example. Nobody ever joined the soccer team so they could enhance their grant writing career. But somebody joined the soccer team and learned how to do a budget request. And then they got involved in the sport club council and learned how to consider other people's requests and assess them. And then they became the chair of finance for the Associated Students. So we are here to help you learn stuff that you didn't even know you wanted to learn. It's what brings us to work every day. It is, well, not me, I'm retired. Yeah, some of you know. And the other thing, the last thing I want to mention is we've heard today several times segments of a part of a prayer by St. Augustine, and the phrase or the verse in it that catches my mind is the one that says, "Seek first to understand and then to be understood." And a couple of people have talked about it. I'm not going to, I'm going to try not to be repetitious, but when you can do that in this organization, practice it here. Let us help you practice. We're good practice watchers. We'll give you feedback. We'll say, yeah, you did that great. or you might want to think about doing that a little differently. But when you seek first to understand, then it's amazing what you'll be able to do. And you've heard in the history from some of our former presidents, when that was able to happen, and sometimes when it's not. But by God, you got to try. And we're here to help. Thanks.
I don't know who this is.
Good morning, everybody. My name is James Forster. I serve as the AS Programs Manager. Just here to give you a quick event update. So the farmers market for tomorrow will most likely be canceled due to the rain. However, we are supposed to have a sustainability event tomorrow as well. It's our refill and repair for the first one of the semester. We will still have those vendors, so Prostainable, the refill shop, and Quilting for Community, the clothing repair company. They will be in the Sustainability Center tomorrow for anyone who would like those services. So that's it for me. Quick update. Thank you all.
I don't think that's James, but I'm not really for sure these days. Is anyone here for open forum? Alrighty, if there is none, it is 10:15. We do have a special meeting agenda at 10 a.m. So is there a motion to recess our current meeting agenda to move into our special meeting agenda? Senator Tybee.
I move to recess our current agenda and move to the special meeting agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Vice President Anderson, thank you. Is there any discussion? Are there any objections? Alrighty, the motion passes unanimously. I will go ahead and call this meeting, special meeting agenda, or special meeting to order, excuse me, at 10:16 a.m. And I'll turn it over to our Attorney General for the roll call.
Vice President Anderson, Senator Bob Negri, Senator Chavez, Senator Doe, Senator Dunn, Senator Kaddish, Senator Iman Khan, Senator Awais Khan, Senator Mezabin, Senator Radionov, Senator Sarkeesian, Senator Saravia, Senator Scher, Senator Tybee, Senator Toledo Carranza, Senator Tran. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Golden. We'll now go ahead and move on to the approval of the agenda for today's meeting. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the agenda for February 19th, 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Khan, thank you. Alrighty. Is there any discussion? Are there any objections? Right, the motion passes unanimously. We will move on to open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes. Don't think anyone here is here for open forum, and we will do reports in the original Senate meeting, but we do have a new business item to approve an appointment. So is there a motion? Senator Scher.
I move to approve line item A.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving line item A, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Right, the motion passes. Congratulations to our new graduate senator. You can actually take a seat at the table. Congrats. I will go ahead and turn it over to our Attorney General for the final roll call.
Vice President Anderson, Senator Bobnagree, Senator Chavez, Senator Doe, Senator Dunn, Senator Kaddish, Senator Iman Khan, Senator Awais Khan, Senator Mezabin, Senator Radionov, Senator Sarkeesian, Senator Saravia, Senator Scher, Senator Tybee, Senator Toledo Carranza, Senator Tran, and Senator Olgan. All right, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you to our Attorney General. I will go ahead and join the special meeting at 10:19 a.m. and we will go back to our meeting, our 9 a.m. meeting. Alrighty, we left off at reports, so we'll go ahead and start with reports, starting with mine. Well, hello, everyone. Happy President's Day. It's so awesome to see you all here today. A couple of things that I wanted to just go over. We have had cultural welcomes the past couple of weeks, and I want to give a huge shout out, although she's not here, to our Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Ali Walker, for all her support with that. She's been attending all of the cultural welcomes that we've had, and we have 2 more this week coming up. But again, huge shout out to her, and it's just so nice to be able to be present at those events. Last week I was able to attend Welcome Black, an amazing event. It was held in the Northridge Center. So many resources, which was really awesome to see. Of course, we were out there as well, tabling and reminding students about the upcoming elections and how filing is actually open right now. Sorry. So that was really awesome to try to recruit some new students for the upcoming election. And yeah, I attended the personal board meeting. There were a couple updates with regard to Patrick leaving us. So, you know, we are in the process of doing the search and screen committee. Our search and screen committee are looking over the applicants right now, and are kind of giving them scores and ranking them. So that's what they're currently doing. And obviously, again, next meeting, I'll have an update on that. I attended Faculty Senate last week as well. A big discussion, just as much as I noted the big discussion here, is Assembly Bill 928, which with regard to the GE pathway. Although Faculty Senate did approve a resolution, there is still tons and tons of discussion with regard to that right now, and how it would impact students, how it would impact faculty. And so obviously there will be a referral today with regard to that being sent to external. So hopefully we'll have more discussion on that. So yeah, that was a big deal. Also this past weekend, I attended CSSA. It was one of our virtual plenaries. Again, a huge discussion about AB 928. A lot of students are, at least on the CSSA side, are against changing the GE pathway, so to keeping it to the current CSU breadth. I know during our presentation, that would mean that it would remain at the 39 units. But again, it's going to go to external, and we've had lots of discussion with, you know, Cabinet and Senate, and we'll continue to do so. We also went over, we had a discussion item at CSSA that was a statement to call for a ceasefire. That was discussed, that wasn't voted on, but it was just a discussion to get, you know, students' opinions on that, what kind of other information we should include. So that is on behalf of the entire CSSA, so on behalf of all the CSU students. And obviously the goal is to vote on it in March at the next plenary. I will be attending Advocacy Day tomorrow and Wednesday in Sacramento. So I will not be in the office, but of course I'll be on my laptop phone. If you need anything, let me know. And looking forward to that with Dr. Beck. I'll obviously have more to talk about that when I come back next, or when I present or have my report on Monday. A couple things, just wanted to give a huge shout out to Jonathan Scher and our chairperson on communications, Ruby, for always tabling. So last week it was Kindness Week and they're always out there tabling. So I really, really appreciate your support with everything, and just kind of welcoming our students and always just being so supportive of our student body, talking about elections, and, you know, just giving them all the fun free giveaways that we always have for them. I did want to give a little bit of a kind of shout out to Nathan Dunn. He is actually going to be serving on the Search and Screen Committee for the Assistant Vice President of Faculty Programs and Initiatives. So he will be doing that. And then our own Chair of Finance, Yvette Tran, will be serving on the Dean of the Library Search and Screen Committee, which is really exciting. So looking forward to that. As always, FAFSA is a big conversation that we're having. It was definitely discussed about at CSSA this past weekend. Again, just to remind you all that CSUN has moved the commitment deadline to June 1st. But another reminder, just encourage your constituents to fill out the FAFSA form. I know that a lot of students are having difficulties filling it out. There's technical difficulties, but just kind of pushing that narrative that do not let the FAFSA form keep you from applying, whether that be, even applying to college for the first time, maybe you have siblings, or just, to continue in college or, enrolling. They're going to figure it out. I promise you. I know it's a rocky start. As Dr. Watkins said, they have not changed the FAFSA form since the Reagan administration. So obviously there's definitely going to be ups and downs with it. So, but just continue to push that narrative to our constituents that, they will receive financial aid and they're working on it. And that a lot of institutions are giving students that time and kind of grace to be able to decide, what's right for them given their financial aid situation. A couple last things. There are a couple Black History Month events coming up. There is Family Affair hosted by the UCS, and it will be held at the Black House on Tuesday, so tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be a resource fair, a wellness workshop, and a mindfulness workshop, giveaways, and of course there'll be food. You can never forget about the food. And there's also going to be a Essential Talks lecture hosted by the UCS as well and the USU with the Kemini Uwan at the Northridge Center. And you can join her in a conversation about Dr. Martin Luther King's journey towards the ultimate goal of love and justice. And she's actually also CSUN alum, so that's really, really special. And that is February 22nd at 6:30 p.m. again in the Northridge Center. And I have an email that I'm going to send out to you all with just those flyers in case you want to share them or attend them yourself. And I know Christina during her special presentation mentioned this, but don't forget there is the USU Alumni AS Mixer on February 27th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the Grand Salon. There will be college deans there, alumni chapter faculty advisors, student club and organization leaders, USU leadership board, AS leadership, and the Alumni Association chapter and board leaders. They'll be going over kind of how to secure funding for your clubs and organizations, how to secure alumni speakers for your clubs and organizations, kind of going over CSUN Funder. That's a great program to raise money for your club and org and to fundraise for them, and just any kind of alumni resources that you could utilize and also share with, leaders here or your club and org, board members or just members in general about alumni connections and company tours and all that good stuff. Again, the RSVP deadline is tomorrow. I know I did send an email earlier, but I will go ahead and send out a follow-up email with that link in case you do want to attend. And it will again be here in the Grand Salon and there will be food. So hopefully you all are able to attend that. That is all for my report. Are there any questions? All right, one last thing, just try to stay dry today. I know the rain is a little bit annoying, but stay safe, please. We'll go ahead and turn it over to Vice President Anderson for her report.
Thank you, President Hodgeloot. Hello, everyone. Happy President's Day. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy lives to come out and talk with all of us. We really appreciate it. It's been wonderful to hear all of you reflect on your experiences, and it's just really special. I did want to give a really special shout out to two huge mentors that I have in the audience, Jonathan Hay and Diana Vicente. I quite literally would not be here, have 3 years in AS without either of them. So it's a very heartfelt moment to reflect on those times. And I'm sure I'll expand on it in the end of the year celebration, but just really thankful to have both of them here. But anyway, last week we had our Kindness Week, which was really wonderful. Thank you to everyone who came out and tabled and helped out with that. It was nice to have breakfast with the Senate and give out some free food for everyone just to make their days a little bit easier. Thank you to James and Productions for including us in the Heartstrings Hangout. That was really nice. And then I don't know if Denise is here, but I wanted to give Denise a huge shout out for helping us with the cart giveaways on Thursday. We literally would not have been able to do that or anything with Kindness Week without her. So thank you so much to Denise for that. We had a great cabinet meeting on Wednesday, great personnel board meeting. And yeah, I am happy to say I was appointed once again to the Educational Policies Committee. I was on this committee last year and then I had to leave because of a class, but now I'm back on it. So I'm happy to be there. We have finalized the first review for the executive director search, and we will be moving on to the second review and then interviews soon, which is sad, but also very exciting. This week, we have some great meetings coming up. Today, we're meeting with the provost and interim vice provost. So if you have anything academically related that you would like President Hodgeloo and I to talk to the provost and interim vice provost about, please let us know. This is a really great way for us to connect with admin. So let us know if you have anything. And then on that note, I'm also on the vice provost search committee, and we're still accepting applications. They close pretty soon and we'll start interviews. So if any of you are interested in becoming the vice provost, let me know. And then like Paige mentioned, we have some cultural welcomes on the calendar. So if you are interested in joining those, please sign up for them. And we have IRA on Friday. That's exciting. And lastly, I just wanted to go over some Senate reminders as we have completed 25% of the semester. Went by really fast. But please, 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 you all should be working on your town halls / constituent connection events. My expectation is that before spring break, which is in about a month, you should have either completed one of those events or you should have complete planning done. So I will be scheduling Senate check-ins the week before spring break so that we can all talk about that. And I'll be asking you how your events have gone / how you are going with the planning. So please be working on that. It's in your Senate standing rules. It's an expectation of the position. And it's just really important, like everyone has been saying, that we connect with constituents and we get out there. So now's our time to do it. And lastly, one reminder is that during your office hours, if you have any tabling opportunities, please, 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 you should be out there tabling. I did struggle a bit to get individuals out for Kindness Week to table, and then I had some cancellations as well, which is a little bit disheartening. So please, please, please use your time. You have 4 hours set aside to be doing those things, and we need to get it done. So let me know if you have any questions about that. And I'm here if you need help with your events, and marketing's here, production's here. Everyone is here to help you. So like everyone's been saying, utilize those people. But if you have any questions, let me know and feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Vice President Anderson's report? I think Patrick, you're applying to the vice provost position, right? Yeah. On the down low. Just kidding. Alrighty, we'll move on to our Chief of Staff, Ryan, for her report.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank so far every wonderful leader and their experiences of just being able to come here on this awesome day, President's Day, of being able to share your experiences. I can make sure that you know it's very inspirational to just be able to hear that experience that you had. And in saying this, I'd also like to remind our senators and even the present cabinet members who are here, and I will be relaying this to cabinet, but we're not done yet. We have 3 months left of this specific administration, and I'd like to encourage and just leave this with a thought, but what are we gonna finish off with? What is our legacy? What is the thing that we're leaving behind? And so food for thought, start brainstorming now so we can get it done within the next 3 months. It's possible, and it's something that we are able to do, and we have the capacity to do with the wonderful team that we have behind us and the support that I'm more than happy to provide to each one of you. So I know Josie and Paige are also down to help all of you guys with any projects that you have. And in saying this, I'll quickly report as to what cabinet has been doing thus far. We actually have quite a few discussion items that we've been discussing, some that have already been mentioned by President Hodgeloo, but we've been having ideas to go to classes and present what AS is to start getting recruitment and those numbers up, especially for our committee members. We also have started along with Senator Toledo Carranza, sorry. But the first gen event that we're starting very soon or in plans of, but that's something very exciting that we like to start. We've also had discussion of AB Assembly Bill 928. We've also rediscussed the signage on campus. So hopefully you'll be seeing those in some legislative referrals again for discussion. We've also discussed price guide for cost of materials on each course. We'd like for more transparency to be occurring so that the students are aware of what they're paying for and the course materials that they're able to get. before signing up for the class. And we'd also talked about career readiness for all colleges. And so that's a discussion that we had fruitful conversation with and are going to continue discussion with the next couple of weeks. Moving on with our cabinet members that are not present, I'll allow the cabinet members who are here present to give their reports in a short moment. But our Chair of Legislative Affairs has an awesome event that we normally do every single year, but chess, this is coming very soon, March 9th. And so I know a few of us are signed up for that specific event. We will be traveling to go to speak to legislators about bills that CSSA is passionate about, and we either are in like for or against bills to be passed, and just to be able to discuss them with legislators. We also taken our Chair of Elections has taken the initiative to go into spaces and of conversation with students as well as the sports clubs to be able to discuss how elections work, how they function, and just taking the initiative is what we'd like to see for all of us, right? Taking the initiative to go into these student spaces. Very similar with our Chair of Personnel and Elections, Chair of Personnel and Communications, but they've been posting a lot of social media posts for elections and just getting the word out there. They've also been scheduling quite a few interviews. As you can see, we've already have our appointment for graduate senator, so she's been very diligent in her work as well. Our Chief Justice is currently in processes of adapting the code to be able to fit this new futures to what Chief Justice truly means. So, and they've also had interviews that have been coming up for justices as well with Ruby, our Chair of Communications and Personnel. Last but not least, we have our wonderful Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I'm so proud to say this, but they've also been working on this diversity, equity, inclusion guide that they've been working on. Very inspirational. Very similarly, just to kind of hop on board with sharing the gratefulness of having our Chair of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, but cultural welcomes are still happening. They're on the calendar for tomorrow at 2 p.m. So if you do have a quick time to go visit those cultural welcomes, please do so. There's a link on the calendar that you'll be able to look at, as well as Wednesday at 4 o'clock. This is the welcomes for Latinx. So please feel free to come to these awesome welcome events. But most of all, just hopefully today was a day of inspiration and just let's finish this semester great. Thank you.
Thank you to our Chief of Staff, Ryan. Are there any questions on her report? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to our Chair of Finance, Trin.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us here today. I'll start by sharing our account balances. So within the STAR Travel Fund, we have $153,876. Within unassigned contingency, we have $731,195. For both clubs and orgs assigned in philanthropy fund, we have $15,000. And within the clubs and orgs travel fund, we have $1,014. So this past week, I attended the personnel board meeting. I also got the opportunity to attend the CSU Committee on Generative AI. As of right now, it seems that the CSUs are leaning more towards creating guidelines when it comes to generative AI for all 23 campuses, rather than like a very strict and strong policy, as it's always like changing and iterative. So that's interesting, and I'll be able to provide more updates as the committee progresses. Finance Committee also meets today at 12 p.m. in the Sustainability Center. This is a meeting open to the public, and we're hoping on finalizing our annual budget and code on finance today. I'm quite happy with the work of my committee, and I'm very proud that it's been very effective, granted that we're doing a new model when it comes to annual budget hearings, and hopefully I can provide more updates at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you to our Chair of Finance. Are there any questions for her report? Alrighty, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to our Attorney General.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to everyone who spoke about their experience and gave advice. It was really inspiring, and I imagine it was for everyone else as well. First of all, did anyone who come in late do they still need to ask for permission to be recognized? You asked? No.
Senator Kaddish,
Permission to be recognized.
granted.
Perfect. And then also to our new senator, now that you're seated, you can also just ask for permission to be recognized.
Permission to recognize, please.
Granted.
Thank you so much. So first of all, I also wanted to echo off of Josie in that the town halls are going to be super important for this semester since we have two, unlike last semester. So we really want to nail those down and get the planning going. So please, everyone, just speak with your co-senators this week and start to get planning. And quick shout out to Senator Toledo Carranza for participating in Senate in a Minute. That video is going to be coming up today. So thank you very much for that. And if anyone else wants to be participating in those, the sign up sheet is still available and there's still open slots for that. And then my last point here, I have a great opportunity on Friday. I'm sure many of you have already heard about the unionizing effort, but that election is going to be closing on Thursday for the student assistants to vote for whether or not they're going to unionize. And then I'll be going to Sacramento on Friday to watch as they tally the vote. And PERB will officially say whether or not student assistants across the CSU get their union. And that's all the updates for me.
Thank you, Golden. That is such exciting news. I'm really looking forward to that for you. Are there any questions on his report? Great. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and turn it over to our standing committee report, starting with external affairs.
Good morning, everyone. Not that much to report today. Last week's meeting, we had a pretty good discussion about AB 928. And we also began work on a referral regarding international students' health insurance.
Awesome. Are there any questions on Senator Kaddish's report? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and turn it over to internal affairs.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be having a lot of referrals now in internal affairs because in the last few meetings it was low, but now we're completely filled up and using our entire allocated time. And with that being said, we're also working on a new project called Project Generation. And we're pairing up in groups of 2, and we're going to each AS department and asking if there's anything that they need help with on the administration side, any improvements they might need for their codes. And we'll be submitting legislative referrals accordingly. So that'll be in a week or 2. Our most significant referral in terms of time is the senator stipend increase. So if anyone has any comment about this, please let our committee know. Internal Affairs, we meet tomorrow at 5 p.m. in the USU executive room. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tybee. Are there any questions on his report? All right, seeing none. University Affairs, you better bring the energy. It always never disappoints.
All righty, so for today, for University Affairs last week, we had 5 referrals, which was great. We started off with AS accounting update, just, getting it more modernized, modernization efforts. Bike and scooter safety, which is also tied to another referral we have, campus street lighting. Just to make bike and scooter safety more prominent on campus, scooter lanes, stuff like that. We also wanted to do like a Matador Giving Back, kind of similar to Matador Giving Back Day, so there might be coordination there. And then for the final thing, parking lot safety signs and just safety efforts. It's been brought to our attention that at night, there has been issues with safety in some of the parking lots, so addressing that. And that is all I have to report for now.
Never disappoint us, Senator Dunn. Thank you so much. Are there any questions on his report? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and turn it over to our Executive Director, Patrick Bailey.
Hi there, good morning, and it's great to see everyone back. Just a couple quick things to report today. I wanted to share with you, most of you probably got in the mail your vote. Know that in addition to having the voting center on campus, there's also a permanent vote box they've installed. It's right outside of Redwood Hall. So even if you live somewhere outside of this area, you can bring it in and just drop it in the little box there. We finished IRA workshops last week. So we did 2. We probably had 40 faculty to show up to the 2 workshops to ask questions about IRA. And those budgets will be done by the first part of March. And with that, I'm done.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Yes, Senator Toledo Carranza.
Not a question, but a point of personal privilege.
Granted. Thank you. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and I don't think Asia Butler doesn't have a report today, but we'll go ahead and move on to our faculty advisor, Dr. Veda Ward.
Good morning, everyone. And I want to thank, of course, all of the past officers, presidents, VPs, and of course, our executive director. Really, really important thing for me, recognizing folks like William Watkins over time is obviously a joy for me as well. I've been faculty advisor. I think I'm the first faculty advisor, and it's been a joy working with you, but also recognizing that some of the folks who have been here, even I don't know. And so it's been great to get to welcome them, get to hear their voices about what they have done and contributed to that glue, that long ongoing fabric that is the legacy of California State University Northridge. And I'm proud to be a part of that as well. Today, I wanted to just recommend thinking about getting a quarter of the way done and moving into that first fifth of our semester. At this point, all of your assignments have been posted pretty much, other than maybe some upcoming discussions, but you're getting ready to move into those first papers and tests, those kinds of things that really begin to look at that academic progress. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you keep in contact with your faculty members and how they're moving forward with different assignments that they have as faculty, but also how that is going to reflect on work that may be coming up this semester. Last week, I was able to actually visit the Furman presentation room in the bottom of the library where the Faculty Senate normally meets. We're now virtual, of course, so most of you all have been able to look online. If you're interested in accessing the faculty agenda, you will see that. And Paige has her own place on the agenda. And so it's a really important thing to recognize that your voice as senators is incorporated into the Faculty Senate agenda as well. So again, give her any input that you need to have moving forward. Looking at the agenda, the only differences that you may look at are first and second readings of resolutions, initiatives that we have. So if you print out the agenda and that's something that you're not familiar with, then that's an opportunity to connect with faculty members as well as your president to see how that works. All right, upcoming, I think that the major things that you can look at are updates on your own syllabi and see if anything has changed, as well as giving feedback to your faculty members as to how you are doing, okay? In addition, you can look online and you will see a variety of ways in which you can actually address your academic progress. For many of you all as seniors, that's not probably as important, or even our graduate rep, but the idea is that many of your constituents are not familiar with those applications. So again, that is a way that you can extend your leadership to your constituents. All right, I want to wish everybody a really good week coming up. Stay dry and really stay informed about what's going on campus. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ward, as always. Permission to be recognized? Granted. Alrighty. Moving on, we don't have any unfinished business. We do have a couple new business items. The first one is to allocate $1,550 from unassigned contingency to the Machine Shop Club, as you can see in the attachment to the agenda. But I do want to ask Chair of Finance if she wanted to go over anything with regard to this.
Yeah, of course. Hi, Paige. Thanks for bringing this up. So the Machine Shop Club, they're seeking like quite a bit of money from unassigned contingency. I do want to make it a note though, that it should be pulling from clubs and orgs assigned rather than unassigned contingency, because Machine Shop Club, they received $1 in the annual budget last year, And it should actually be to allocate 1,500, not 1,550, to Machine Shop Club for this item. So Machine Shop Club, they're seeking materials and supplies, for their club. And I'd like to also share something that the club shared with me, and I'll just read it out loud. So what the president of Machine Shop Club said was that the primary objective of Machine Shop Club is to impart essential machining operations knowledge to interested students, fostering a solid foundation in manual and CNC machine operations. Over the course of the 3 workshops, they've successfully engaged 43 students, witnessing a noticeable increase in participation from freshmen in their last session. So they're seeking this amount of funds to go towards materials and supplies.
Alrighty, thank you. Where is he? Just kidding. Alrighty, thank you so much for that clarification. It looks like we do need an amendment to the alrighty. We don't actually need to make an amendment, but is there a motion? Yes. Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the allocation of 1,550 from unassigned contingency? Or is it going to be clubs and orgs funds?
Yes, so it's actually, as the Chair of Finance stated, it's going to be $1,500 from clubs and orgs assigned, correct? Eva?
Okay, so then I move to allocate 1,500 from clubs and orgs assigned to the Machine Shop Club.
Beautiful, thank you. Is there a second? Vice President Anderson, thank you. Is there any discussion? Yes, Senator Tybee.
I just wanted to clarify with the extra $50 that was supposed to go towards cleaning supplies. Is that something that we're still allowed to fund from unassigned contingency?
I will turn it over to our Chair of Finance.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Nick. Yes, it actually should be 1,550 then. I think I just saw the incorrect breakdown.
And so we'd be thinking 1,500 from clubs and orgs and then an additional 50 from unassigned contingency.
I believe it should all be from clubs and orgs assigned, just because this group was allocated $1 in their annual budget for this year.
Alrighty, we will need an amendment to the motion then. Because it looks like we will now be funding them $1,550. Thank you for that catch, Senator Tybee. Is there a motion to amend? Vice President Anderson.
I move to amend the motion to be $1,550 instead of $1,500.
Correct, thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, see no discussion. All those in favor of approving the amendment, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, the motion passes. Alrighty, we will now need to alrighty, we will now move on to discussion for line item A. Is there any further discussion? Alrighty, see none, all those in favor of allocating line item A as amended, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Right, the motion passes. Alrighty, we'll now go ahead and move on to line item B, which is to approve a judicial court appointment. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve line item B.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Toledo Carranza, thank you. Is there any discussion? Right, see no discussion. All those in favor of approving line item B, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Right, the motion passes, and congrats to Sean, our new, one of our new associate justices. We don't have any information items or discussion items. We do have a couple legislative referrals that I'm going to go ahead and read off and assign. The first one is from Senator Tybee, titled Course Enrollment to Display Accurate Cost. The request is as follows: software required for classes, workshop supplies, and extra books can all tally to over $300 in extra course material. Courses should be transparent on extra costs beyond enrolling by noticeably displaying the estimated amount of material cost before enrolling. As of now, we only have a $ symbol that displays the course expenses. More information can be given by Chief of Staff Ryan and the Cabinet. This is suggested to go to University Affairs, and I'm going to send it to External Affairs. So thank you. Alrighty, the next legislative referral is from Senator Toledo Carranza, titled More Shade in the Summer. The request is as follows: to plant more trees around campus, such as the bus station areas and any other places where there needs to be more shade. The request was suggested to go to University Affairs, and I will go ahead and assign it to University Affairs. Alrighty, our next legislative referral is from Senator Kaddish, titled Stars Credit EN15 Trademark Licensing. Excuse me, this is a lengthy one. Senator Kaddish. Okay. Alrighty, the request is as follows. CSUN participates in the Sustainability Tracking, Assessment, and Rating System, STARS, or also known as STARS, program created by the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. This incentivization program awards categorized points to institutions that meet criteria related to improving their sustainability practices. One credit that is worth 2 of these points is EN15, trademark licensing, which is given to institutions adopting policies that require their apparel to be more ethically sourced concerning working conditions. Here's the criteria according to their website. Institution ensures that apparel bearing its name and or logo is produced under fair working conditions by maintaining current membership in the Worker Rights Consortium, sure, the Fair Labor Association, or for institutions outside the US, Canada, and the UK, an equivalent independent monitoring and verification organization that has been approved by AASHE, or adopting a labor rights code of conduct in its licensing agreements with licensees who produce its logo apparel without maintaining institutional membership in an independent monitoring and verification organization. To qualify, a labor rights code of conduct must be consistent in all respects with the WRC Model Code of Conduct, the FLA Workplace Code of Conduct, or the International Labor Organization Fundamental Conventions. The companies, suppliers, and licensees that an institution works may also participate in monitoring and verification organizations, thereby helping to ensure fair labor practices are applied throughout the supply chain. However, these activities are not sufficient to earn points in this credit. With some more research, associate students could ask the university to fulfill these requirements to help encourage more ethical apparel production. This is suggested to go to External Affairs, and that is where it will go. All right, our next legislative referral is from Vice President Anderson, titled Further Conduct Research and Take a Stance either in support or in opposition of AB 928. After several presentations in Cabinet and now Senate, AS should be conducting further research and drafting a resolution to take a stance of whether or not we should be adopting the same GE pathway as part of AB 928 for incoming freshmen. This was suggested to go to External Affairs, and that's where it will go. The next referral is from Vice President Anderson as well, titled Updating the Judicial Court Code. The request is as follows. The Judicial Court process needs to be updated to reflect the recently changed chartering process. This was suggested to go to Internal Affairs, and that's where it will go. This next referral is very similar to Senator Tybee's, but I'm going to read it anyway. This was also sent by Vice President Anderson, and the title is Transparent Course Material Costs. The request is as follows. With the rollout of CSUN Ready, the campus should also be able to display the costs of the course materials in the catalog at the time of enrollment for students. This is also in accordance with AB 607, which requires the cost of post-secondary education course materials to be displayed for all students. This was suggested to go to External Affairs, and that is where it will go. Alrighty, that's all for legislative referrals. Lots to work on in your standing committee, so really looking forward to that. We will now go ahead and move on to announcements. Are there any announcements from the board? Yes, Senator Saravia.
So because it's rugby season, I always come with some news about the games that we're having. But specifically this Saturday is a really big day for Associated Students Sports Clubs. It's not only a game for the CSUN women's rugby team against MiraCosta. It is also a game for the women's lacrosse team on that same day and the women's soccer team. The women's lacrosse team is going to be playing at 3 p.m. at the East Field. The CSUN women's rugby team is going to be playing at 11 a.m. at the North Field, and the women's soccer team is going to be playing also at 3 p.m. at the SRC Turf Field. I really, really encourage everyone to attend. Maybe one, maybe two, or all three. It's a really exciting day for all the sports clubs, as this rarely happens that a bunch of teams play on the same day together. It's really going to be a great moment for all these teams to be able to get support from not only people that support their club, but people that support other clubs as well, because they're just in the area and they just happen to pass by. So I really encourage everyone to attend maybe one or two, preferably the women's rugby team. We really need support. But yeah, I just wanted to announce that on behalf of the sports clubs. So yeah.
No excuses. You all have plans on Saturday now, so I hope to see you all there. Are there any other announcements? Yes, Senator Toledo Carranza.
Just wanted to say that I was able to attend 2 weeks ago the CSUN Teaching Effectiveness Task Force, which regards into, we're working into student evaluations and changes to the language, which we're making, well, the draft is already made, but we're still working on the draft too, for them to present it to Faculty Senate. So that's something that we're working on. And if you guys have any questions or any recommendations, I would really appreciate it.
Thank you for that announcement. Are there any further announcements from the board? Alrighty, I guess just one more. Don't forget, we do have lunch after this. It's a great way to connect with our former AS leaders, and just, see what they did, see what they're up to nowadays. And again, probably get more awesome and great advice from them. They're literal legends sitting in front of us, so definitely take advantage of the opportunity. Alrighty, if there are no further announcements, I will go ahead and turn it over to our Attorney General for the final roll call.
Vice President Anderson. Senator Bobnagry. Senator Chavez. Senator Doe. Senator Dunn. Senator Kaddish. Senator Iman Khan. Senator Awais Khan. Senator Mezabin. Senator Radionov. Senator Sarkeesian. Senator Saravia. Senator Scher. Senator Tybee. Senator Toledo Carranza. Senator Tran. Senator Olgan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, just a little too quick, Vice President Anderson. Thank you so much, Golden, and I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:02 a.m.